Alright, we have the zip function from the text written, and that zip function will work for lists that are the same length. We're about to write another function for lists with different lengths. So let's go ahead and start with calling it zip1, and it's going to take list1 and list2. So we'll take that, and what we're going to do is we're going to match list1 with the empty list as a base case, but instead of just calling it done there and saying that it finishes with the base case or with the empty list, we're going to check for the length of list2. So we're going to check if list2 is also the empty list, then we're going to give it the empty list. If not, then we're going to give it the optional type none. So let's do that. And then now onto the base case, where we have the heads const with the tail, and we're going to check again if list2 is empty. So if L2 is the empty list, except in this case when list2 is empty, then we want to return the optional type none. Else, we're going to let the tail tuples become zip1, which is the new zip function, on the tail, list.tail L2, and we're going to take that and some head. We're going to get the head of the second list. We're going to cons that all together with the tail tuples. And that's going to be it for our list function that takes different lists of different lengths. So let's take that, we're going to save it and send it to interactive. And down here we see that when we give the function a list and a b list, it returns a tuple of option type list when b is not the same length. So let's test it out. Let's do zip1, then we'll do first we'll do it with lists of equal length, so 1 to 3 and then A to C. We run that, we see that we get the right thing. We get one and a tuple with A, 2 and a tuple with B, and 3 and a tuple with C. So now let's try running it with lists of different lengths. So we're still going to go from 1 to 3, but instead of A to C, we're going to try going from A to F. We run that, and we're given the first 3 matches, and then we're given a null for the last, since it couldn't zip up with anything. Alright, that's the zip function for different lists of different length. Now let's do an unzip function. So let's start, we'll call it unzip, and we're just going to give it one list. Then we're going to match that list with the base case here, where it's the empty list, and that's going to be assigned to a tuple of 2 empty lists. But our general case starts out much the same. Head cons with tail. We're going to let the head element of the first list be, and the head element of the second list equal the head of the list. Then we're going to let the tuple be the recursive case head, or have that unzip on the tail. Then we're going to do let the tuple element 1, the tuple element 2 equal tuple. Then we're going to have the head element of the first tuple const with the rest of the tuple, the head element of the second tuple const with the rest of the second tuple. We're going to do that. Let's save it, send it down to our interactive. You see here we're given a list of tuples, and it gives us back a tuple of lists. So let's test this out. Let's do unzip, then we'll give it a list of tuples. We'll do 1A, then we'll do 2B, then we'll leave it at 3C. And close that and run it. You see that we're given a tuple with the list with all the head elements and the list with all the tail elements. And that's it as far as the unzip function goes.